you know what time it is. It is time for another Wednesday Wisdom Nugget. I had to take a quick break, but I'm back. So I'm going to go ahead and get right on into it. So I am coming from Luke chapter 12, verse 25, and I'm also going to read 26 as well. And it reads, "Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to his life? Since you cannot do this very little thing, why do you worry about the rest?" So today I am going to talk about the subject, pray and do not worry. So yeah, it's in the text. It's in the word. Why are you worried? And I'm guilty myself because with a lot of this, I'm talking to myself. This is therapy for myself. Why are you worried about things that you cannot control? And I have been in therapy, and that is one thing that I have learned in therapy. There's only 24 hours in a day. So whatever you can control, you deal with it. You make goals. You try to do whatever you can to fix it. If you can't fix it, you have to leave it to the man upstairs. And I remember there was a time where I was praying, but I wasn't getting the answer that I wanted. So, of course, being the person that I am, being hard-headed, being impatient, I had an attitude. And I just thought that God, you know what I'm saying, he had forsaken me. So I was just like, you know what? I mean, this is not right. This is not right, God. Like, are you going to come through or not? Like, I was mad. I kid you not. It was a voice as I was being still, as I was being quiet. And it was clear as day. It said, "I'm not your genie." I mean, it was literally God talking to me and telling me, I am not your genie. So if you're only praying for me to give you what you want, you don't need me. You can live for the world. And that's my message to you. Sometimes God is not going to answer your prayers the way that you would think, or sometimes he's not going to answer them at all. And sometimes there's going to be a delay, but know that every delay is not a denial. Most of all, please understand that if he doesn't come through, or if it doesn't happen on your terms, your timetable, if it's not answered the way that you thought, please understand that whatever's predestined for your life is predestined. You can't get upset. You can't get angry. You just have to take a deep breath and say, God, I still trust you. I don't understand, but I'm just going to keep walking and go the path that you would have for me to go. Because like I said, if you're only praying for God to do what you want him to do when you want him to do it, you really don't need him. I mean, you can have a genie, you can have all kinds of stuff like that. You don't really need him. And that's the exact same thing that he told me. And there's a lot of people now that kind of look at God as a genie, or that kind of look at him as just granting wishes for them. And, oh, if he doesn't grant wishes for me, if he doesn't do what I say, then he's not a good God. God is a good God, whether he answers your prayers or not. Regardless, he's still been good to me. I know the things that he's delivered me from. I know the things that he's brought me out of. Regardless, he does not work for you. You work for him. And people who are truly in the Christian body understand that, and we know that. So act like it. Don't get upset. Don't get upset when things don't go your way. And that's what I'm working on as well. And it is hard. And there are days where sometimes I feel so down because I'm like, that's not the way I thought that you would answer that. But when you pray, don't worry. Leave it in his hands. And sometimes it's a test of your character to make sure that you're going to take your hands off of it. And once you pray and once you have faith, that's all you need. You don't need to keep going back to God, begging him. He heard you the first time. If it is in your will, it's going to happen. If it's not in your will, it's not going to happen. There is nothing that you can do. You can't force God to make him do it. He's God. And trust me, he sees further down the line than you do. He sees all of the people that are going to be around you. He knows what's best for you. And like I said, you have to trust him. Don't worry. Don't toss and turn. Let this be your last night you don't get sleep. Close your eyes. Go to bed. Trust God. And know that everything will be okay. Know that he has your back. Even if you have to cry. Even if you have to pray and cry and say, God, I don't understand why you didn't answer that prayer, but I still trust you. Sometimes he just wants you to still trust him, regardless of what you see. Don't give up, guys. And stop worrying. Stop worrying. If you're going to pray, then don't worry. If you're going to worry, then don't pray. And it's real. Because if you're going to worry and not have faith, what is your point of praying? You don't need to pray. And a lot of people, they take their hands off God and religion and they're like, oh, I don't believe in him. He didn't do this. He did this to me, or this happened. He didn't answer my prayer. Life is like that, okay? It is what it is. But I tell you what, God gives you the strength to get through whatever trials and tribulations that you have to go through. That's one thing that I do know. I don't know where I would be without a relationship with Christ. Do not give up. Do not stop praying. Stop worrying, though. Stop worrying and put it in his hands and have faith that he will do it. All you need is faith the size of a mustard seed. God bless, guys. And that's it. That's all I got. Stop worrying and praying. It's a waste of energy. If you're going to worry after you pray, there's no need to pray. You don't have a need to pray because you don't even believe in what you're trying to ask God yourself. So why should he bless you with it? You have to believe and you have to have faith in who he is and what he can do in your life. And you have to trust the process. The process is hard. I'm in the process. And it is one of the most hardest things I've ever faced in my life. But baby steps, one step at a time. And there's no limit on prayer. You can pray as many times as you would like. Even on your darkest days, get on your knees and pray. Stop crying. Stop asking God why. And talk to him. God bless. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. Pray and do not worry, okay? Bye-bye. Get some rest tonight.